guys ever do things that like your dad did or something? And I mean, I remember growing up, my dad, like if the ketchup was running low, he'd put water in it.
Oh,
And, for that, it didn't work because, the first person that pushes out another water comes up and bucks up your food.
gotta shake it up real good.
But I do that like with the laundry detergent. Like if there's, enough and it just runs out, like I'll fill the rest with water, shake it up. And,
To get the last of it out.
yeah, to get the last of it out. And sometimes a lot comes out with soap, but then sometimes at the end, I'll leave it. I'll fill it with water and I'll leave it for Noah. And then he gets it.
He does the same shit.
No, but he
Oh.
sees it's all watery, so he knows I did that. So then he'll get mad, like, "Oh, why don't you throw that away?" Like,
You
"Oh,
wash your clothes and they come out, they're not even clean. Just,
no, but I think they're still clean because there's still a lot of soap, and it comes out.
oh yeah, it's
all-
concentrated. Yeah.
enough. Yeah.
I don't think. I guess I have done that before, with the laundry detergent.
My dad used to do that with milk.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking worse.
No, if you're using it for cereal, I say yeah, it works.
Oh,
If you're drinking the milk straight, no, but if you're using it for cereal, I think it works. Milk and water, like just, it's almost like
I'm not really a milk person anyway, so I haven't had
yeah,
milk
almost.
in a while. But
I think it's making it almost like it's low fat milk or something.
Skim milk.
I remember my grandparents had that the carnation, the powdered milk.
Oh,
That was just like funky tasting. And they just had this big old pink box. Have you ever seen those? The old school the powdered milk?
I remember tasting it, but no,
Yeah.
I don't remember what it.
it's like
Yeah, it was carnation, I believe. Yeah, and
Adult
I remember it being
formula.
a pink box maybe or a blue box. It was yeah, adult formula. But yeah, I just go over to my grandparents, or if we stay the night, my parents would leave us there and they would babysit us or whatever, and just wake up the next morning and looking forward to having some cereal. Then I'd find out, oh no, not with that stuff. I guess that's like why I assume milk, when you put water in it, it doesn't sound appealing, because that's like what I think that powdered milk kind of tastes like, just some really watered down. Maybe we didn't use enough powder to make it milky enough, but it was pretty
It
gross.
would have been worse if you made it really thick.
Clumpy and cottage cheese.
It's like
Some
batter.
cottage cheese in your,
Like,
in your
'cause
cereal.
my dad would every now and then he'd get powdered milk and nobody would like it, so he'd mix it with chocolate to try.
And everybody would like it.
No, he'd try and trick us, like, no, it's chocolate milk.
You're like, fuck no.
Yeah,
I would do that with like I'd get the Nestle's Quick, the chocolate powder, and put that in like my oatmeal or
Okay,
or
yeah.
like cream of wheat or something, and chocolate it up that way.
Yeah, he'll chocolate up the whole gallon. You're like, why'd you like? What are you up to?
It just seems suspicious already. Wait a minute.
That's,
You
how
know-
you make. That's how you make another gallon of milk. The milk's down at the bottom. You fill the rest up with water and throw some chocolate powder.
That's a powdered milk. But yeah, you can always taste that powder, like the powdery taste of the powdered milk.
Yeah.
You need to mix it properly, right? You're just like having chunks of the powder in your mouth.
Chalky milk.
Oh no, yeah, milk.
How about ranch? Could you put water in the ranch dressing?
Oh man.
I mean, don't most places, anyways. I'm not really. I don't even. That's funny. I don't even really. I'm not much of a ranch person.
I think I would throw milk in there.
Yeah, that would probably work better to
Right.
thin it out.
But all you have is your dad's watery chocolate powder milk. Like, oh fuck.
No, I mean I've actually done that at home with the ranch. I mean my boys, they eat ranch, so the very last of it, it's like, oh, there's really only enough for someone's salad, one person's salad. You're gonna have to make 3 out of this and water it down a little. It's just- the last guy just gets water. What the hell is this?
It's got a bowl of water
Yeah.
salad.
Water
Just throw pepper and salt in it and flavor it up.
Yeah, but yeah, growing up, I remember when the first person would put on their hamburger bun and all that water ketchup would just soak their bun. Like,
Gross.
Because you didn't shake the ketchup properly.
Soggy bread.
they'd get all mad, like, "Hey, Dad, you better stop doing that."
As you're eating your nicely, perfectly ketchup burger.
Like, I don't buy ketchup at all. I don't even know what. Like, I don't eat ketchup with anything I make at home. I guess the only time I have
You
ketchup
know,
is...
neither do I. But I do have a lot of ketchup at home for my my youngest, because he eats ketchup with like everything.
Oh, okay.
Spoonfuls of ketchup.
Yeah, I mean he's almost 5, but he's kind of gotten away from like wanting ketchup with his eggs all the time in the morning. But that's
the thing, right?
at one
Ketchup
point
and
it was
eggs.
having to buy the warehouse, the industrial sized.
Was it really? Holy
Used
shit!
to have that for every day, like for breakfast. And the eggs, it got so crazy. I'd serve them cereal and put a ketchup in it.
You do ketchup with your eggs?
I do.
Do you?
Really?
I could do that.
No, I can't even eat that either. Sometimes he doesn't finish his egg, and I don't want to waste the egg, the protein. So I get it, I start eating a few pieces, but then just with the ketchup, I'm like, nah, I'll just throw it away. I can't do it.
See, I'd wash it.
Yeah,
You wash
rinse the eggs in the sink.
You get watered down eggs. Oh no!
Just throw a little chocolate powder in.
Some chocolate powder.
Put the eggs with the dishwater and rinse them out.
the eggs in the
Yeah.
dishwasher and set it for a cycle.
Right?
Oh man, that's water. Yeah, that's another thing too that grosses me out is watery eggs. Like when you order them over easy at a restaurant or something, or try to order meat over medium, and they still come like runny and
With the white,
Yeah.
uncooked.
Yeah, when the
Yeah.
white's runny, that's gross. I can't do that. It's
Yeah.
like a booger.
skeeves me out.
I don't mind
Especially when people who do you drink milk with your eggs when you eat your eggs? Like
No,
to
I
me,
don't
that's
drink-
just like the worst combination ever.
It sounds like a
it's
good
some-
combination, but yeah, I don't drink milk anymore.
Yeah, but like when you were young, would you eat
Yeah.
your eggs and you would drink milk?
Oh yeah, I used to love milk.
Oh,
with my breakfast.
I could never do that. Especially when being served eggs that run like that, and you drink a glass of milk. No way, couldn't do it.
You drink milk still?
Like, I don't purposely not drink it, but I just don't really I never really drink milk anymore.
I remember when I was in high school, there was this really big guy, probably the biggest, toughest guy in school, and every day at lunch, he'd walk to Circle K and he'd buy was it like a half gallon of the tall quart of milk? And he would just stand there drinking it.
That's why he was so tough.
That's like a
He wanted to be like a
Hulk Hogan or
Ricky, the brother, Ice Cube's brother in the movie. What's it? Where they
and
end up
Boys
shooting
in the
him?
Hood.
Boys in the Hood, yeah. He's always drinking a half gallon of milk and eating Duncan Hines, the cupcakes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Milk has
milk-
never been a. Milk was a bad idea.
Yeah, it's weird. Like at school, right? Like they would just give you. Like we didn't have any other options. It was just milk if you wanted something to drink.
I
So were they
wouldn't drink
eating
it.
spaghetti with a thing of milk? Like
I
it's
gave my I like eating a steak, drinking milk.
disgusting,
Salisbury
right?
steak.
Oh, nothing like a good milk steak, huh?
Milk steak. Pizza and milk. Like, yeah.
The cardboard pizza.
There'd always be that one guy getting everybody's milk. You're gonna drink your milk. You're gonna drink your milk. You'd have all the cards of milk.
Yeah, I would give my way. I never kept my milk. I drink water, eat my meal, and then go to the water fountain.
And there's always that kid that got skim milk, and you're like, oh, what's up with that kid? Right?
It's a purple.
the weird blue or purple card. Yeah, we're close.
Yeah.
No, we're good. We're busy. Thank you.
You can leave it right there in the. Just keep trying to open the door.
Just trying.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What about you, Kate? We're having service tomorrow. We're
Oh.
having service and the concert on Saturday.
Okay, we're having service right now, actually.
All right.
Thank you.
You want to come in and tell us about it?
Oh man, isn't it funny when like how people will continue to shake a locked
Oh,
door
yeah.
like over and over?
Didn't work this time. Maybe this time.
Show your clothes. As we just sit here and stare at them like it's
Locked.
it's not weird to you.
I would have took the hint as soon as I saw 3 grown men with like microphones
But
and
that's
a
what I'm
camera.
like.
Oh,
Don't you see what's going on here? We're having service ourselves right now.
Yeah, but yeah, people are fucking morons, man. Like, they'll go to the wrong door and like keep hitting it like it's.
Well, I guess the open sign is on, so he probably thought it was open. But like when you, it's like you, and then it's like, oh wait, let me keep trying it. Maybe it'll break open.
One time I was here and we were closed and some guy was trying to open it, and then I gave him like we're closed, and he kept trying and I just ignored him, and then like 2 minutes later he opens the back door and comes to the back. You guys open? And I'm
What?
like, no, we're closed, man. Like, no, sorry about that, man. I just wanted to ask some questions. I just went all the way to the back.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
Damn.
Sometimes people, it's like, wow, you just. Are you just no clue, or you just don't give a shit? I'm gonna walk in their back door. What the fuck?
I wonder what his service is.
Like one time at the old shop.
I think he meant like church service.
think
I would
it's
believe,
church.
right? Something. Obviously, I mean, who else would be so so adamant about fucking?
You're gonna go to hell. You're gonna go to hell.
Why don't you open the door? I just want to talk to you for 2 hours about our Lord and Savior.
Oh, and Xander would love that.
Yeah, right here, man. Have a.
Yeah,
Probably Toad's friend, huh?
that's right, Toad's friend.
I'm gonna stop inviting your weird friends.
Yeah, I remember at the old shop, Nick wedged the door because we wanted it open, and he put like a hammer wedge in, or the hammer,
Uh-huh.
and he wedged it, and then some lady was leaving, and as she left, she was trying to close it from the outside, and she's like, "Your door won't close," and she kept shoving it, and that thing wedged, and she broke like the whole door off the hinge, and then the kid like an idiot like. Did I do that? It's like, you fucking stupid bitch. Like what part? Like,
Why are you
Why
forcing
won't
it?
it close? So- yeah, I mean, I don't understand the programming in your head when you're just like, wait, it didn't open the first time. Let me shake the shit out of it 4 more times.
and I'm thinking, like, how are you still alive, right? Or like,
How did you survive this long?
you have all your fingers, or like,
Yeah, this thing cuts. Oh, wait, it does? No, after all your fingers are off.
Are you sure that's hot?
Yeah, it's funny. He was like insistent, open the door. I wanna
wet paint right in there. Right?
Wet, exactly.
How wet is it really?
Yeah. Wet paint? Is it really?
I was your stupid.
It's psychological, the way it triggers that. Like
Some
you just
people,
have
right?
to.
Yeah.
It's just natural selection, huh? It
Don't
weeds
touch.
out
You will get electrocuted. Oh really? Why? Why?
Why? All right, nature just little by little weeds out the weak. Like, no, you're not strong enough. You're an idiot. You don't make it. Like that dude remember that story where it was like an Asian dude somewhere, I don't know where, there was a zoo, and he climbed the fence to avoid paying for the ticket, and he landed in the tiger exhibit.
Oh, do they shoot the tiger?
I think they shoot at the tigers, yeah, but the tigers kill him. They maul his
Oh, really?
neck before they start shooting at them.
Yeah, it molds them, and then they shoot near the tiger, and they leave, and then the man starts getting up, and then they go and finish him off.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, go
Well, I mean,
tiger.
Yeah, right.
What the fuck are you expecting?
Yes.
I've like the dumb shit they've done here at the zoo, or I've even the videos you see people climbing in those fucking lion cages. There's that one guy. He was like supposedly like he heard voices. The voices told him to go talk to the lions or whatever, and he jumped in there. And he was there like trying to tame them, and they just like fucking ate his ass up.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. That's the way it goes, right? Natural
Yeah, well, I
selection.
mean, fucking hey, you're messing with wild jungle animals. What the fuck you expect?
Yeah, there is another one I saw recently where, and the mom ended up suing the zoo for some reason, but she put like her, 4 or 5-year-old over the window over the exhibit, and then he slipped. He slipped, and the kid fell in the enclosure, and it was hyenas or wild dogs, something like that.
Yeah, I
And
remember that.
they tore him apart,
Oh,
and they had to kill one of the. Because he wouldn't let go of the body, so they had to shoot one. They were shooting near it, and they all took off except one. He wouldn't let go, so they shot him, and they had to kill him. And yeah, the family ended up suing the zoo. People are like, oh, the zoo should sue the family for the loss of their hyena.
That's
or
funny
whatever.
how they can think they can sue. You're a dumbass that does that stupid shit.
Damn, we should have shot the lady. Right? Like, yeah, let lady.
Yep, that's who really needs to get fucking shot.
Yeah,
That's
they shouldn't be having kids.
Yeah, why would you do that, right? It's so stupid.
Or that one in the safari. Remember, they're in the safari and the lady gets all mad and she gets out the car and as she's arguing, the tiger comes and takes her.
Oh.
Oh, but didn't it get her and
And then like her mom,
Another-
or the mom of the lady goes after her, but then I think she runs back. But yeah, it comes out of nowhere.
I've
and
seen
it-
so many different videos of
it
stuff like
grabs the
that.
lady and takes her.
It's
Damn.
like, what the fuck are you thinking? Like, how would you even have the balls to do that shit out there?
Right.
I just think like, oh, I want to see. I paid. I want to see a damn tiger up close.
I think she was arguing with the husband. What the story was, and she gets out of the car to go yell at him or something from outside, and as she's yelling at him, a tiger gets.
Yeah, the tiger's like, what the fuck is that?
That looks delicious.
Food.
The guy probably saw it coming too, and he didn't say anything else.
He kept
wait.
antagonizing
Just wait a
her.
little bit longer. Oh, dear, wait. Damn.
And so it was her mom that got out to like help. He probably told
Yeah,
her too,
the
like, go
mother-in-law.
help her, go get her.
She's calling you.
Yeah, I was telling Renee earlier, like, cause you're into music, right?
Oh yeah.
So I was telling Renee earlier that there is a concept in music that, for the majority of my life, I thought was bullshit, and I'm a recent believer in it.
What's that?
People with perfect pitch,
Perfect pitch?
and I thought, no, there's no way. Like they're pretty good, but there's no way. But man, I've seen people with, like, there's no other way to
Yeah.
explain it other than that they have perfect pitch. Like it's crazy the way.
There are those people out there. I mean, obviously, you hear them on recorded. Well, of course, you can manipulate your voice to be perfect, of course, for production reasons. But yeah, I mean, I've actually witnessed some people that I'm just like, wow. I mean, just like almost finely tuned and like at
Yeah, like and they always say like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I've had it since I was like 4 years old," and that's like, so it's like a natural gift almost. Like,
I
which is
see
crazy.
that.
Like,
What was I watching the other day? Well, actually, I went to go watch my nephew in a play yesterday, and a lot of these young kids have some good voices, and you can tell that later on when they, perfect their pitch and stuff, that they'll be really good, and it's you have to think though, like their voice sounds one way when you're like 10 years old, 12 years old, and then you go through the puberty and the changing, depending, women or men. But your voice changes, and how do you keep that voice still, throughout those changes?
you gotta cut your balls off. Right?
You know,
That happens, right?
I'm not
Supposedly,
quite hitting that high C anymore, so I gotta do it like this. You know what I mean?
because I've seen like those like recordings of what are they called?
The choir.
Yeah, like there's a
they say-
name for like those boys that they castrate to keep the soprano voice or whatever. And you hear them, and yeah, they sound like a woman or a little girl. But then
I
I've heard
figured
that,
it would be more like hormonal. You keep the hormones.
yeah, that's what I've heard some people say that that's a myth, that it doesn't really work like that. But then again, I have heard recordings of it, and they say no, yeah, this was a dude who was castrated and for his voice or whatever.
I've never really heard anything about that.
So, I think they say that's what Michael Jackson. People theorize Michael Jackson had that done.
Really? So you kept that high pitch. I always think of South Park. Michael Jackson.
You know, you're just showering and you're just like Shamona.
Yeah, he's well.
Sometimes yeah.
I mean, he did have that voice from, the Jackson 5 when he was little to his adolescent years, and yeah, abnormally very high pitched, right? So I don't know. You think that's how they really do it? keep your voice that high. I mean,
The pigment of your skin originates in your balls.
the
Start
pigment of your skin
losing it.
originates in your balls.
It explains everything.
That's weird. I'm not red. Oh. Yeah, that's crazy. Is that
said-
factual?
It's a conspiracy.
Oh.
When you said perfect pitch, I thought you meant like craps pitch.
Oh, because you
I
believe
thought
in
we were talking about oral
perfect crap-
Hershiser.
You believe in perfect craps
The perfect pitch.
I believe so. What is perfect pitch? Just being able to.
Sell something without having to do anything.
Convince a girl to come over to your hotel room.
I got the
After
perfect pitch. You, me.
A little bit of Domino's pizza.
No, but vocally, I mean,
It's just like people that can they can hear a note and they know what the note is. Like they can just hear something and that's an F sharp.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a B flat.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
C.
Oh, okay, so it's not even. You don't even have to reproduce it. You can just have to hear it.
Some people can like if you tell them okay like hum me an F sharp and they could do it perfect.
yeah.
But others can just hear a sound and know what note it is.
Yeah, exactly. I've even seen some like where somebody will like hit like a mug with like a spoon and they could tell you oh that's an A sharp or something or
Yeah, I've got a few musician friends that are
Is that rare?
like that.
yeah that's rare.
Not.
I mean
really.
like
I've kind of always been like that. Whether it's been with guitar, drums, vocals, I hear something and I can replicate it to a certain extent. But yeah, I have friends that are just like, they will tell you every single note that they hear without even, they'll just hear, oh, that's this, that's that, and
they could say the key and what notes are in it, what scale they're using,
Yep.
and like they can just hear it and they instantly know it. Like I've heard people describe it like, oh, okay, I can look at your shirt and immediately I know, oh, it's blue. Or I look at your pants, oh, those are brown. I look at mine, oh, it's black. But it's like that. They hear it and they're just like, oh yeah, that's this. Like, then it's almost like that.
Yeah, like the singing bowls we have. I remember when I bought them. Supposedly each one has a different note, and the different note is like for a different chakra, and it, they're supposed to help
Yeah.
you.
Maybe they feel it in their chakras, huh, and that's how they know.
And when the guy was selling it to me, for some reason I thought it was the size of them. So I told him, "Oh, I need these sizes." He's like, "No, it's the notes, because you can have a big one, that's still the same note as a small one, I guess." So he started hitting him, and he's like, "Oh, that's." But then I didn't know if anybody can do that, but he was telling me the notes and what chakras they're for just by him hearing the sound. But then I don't know
yeah.
if
Well, I
he's
mean,
full of
if you're
shit or-
you're used to hearing, no, I mean,
Which one do you want? Your stomach chakra? Oh yeah, that's
yeah,
right there.
that's
Yeah,
this,
that's it right
this
there.
pitch right here.
So it was a perfect pitch.
Just said whatever. Yeah, it's 346 hertz. You just,
Yeah. No, I mean, I think a lot of people are able to do that. I mean, if you're inclined that way, in tune with it. I mean, obviously, like we were even talking about earlier, if you really put your mind to doing it, you can. I mean, I guess I never really was a big like learn music by notes type of musician. I never really. I mean, I did learn notes, when I was in band and guitar class and stuff like that. But then once I got out of high school and I started playing in bands, to me it was just all about feeling and playing by ear and what you hear and make, obviously if it sounds good you'll feel it, like you feel it in tune with yourself, that everything matches and makes sense. You hear one slight little thing that's off key or out of tune, you sense it, and it doesn't make that complete vibe, so. But
have you ever played music with somebody who is school educated or
oh yeah, well, I mean,
do they-
yes, I mean two of my best friends right now both are drummers as well, and
do they write stuff down?
Yeah.
Or-
Yeah.
And
And that's what's crazy is like I had never come across musicians like that, and the very first time that I had Justin Armand come down from Cali to do the Years of Cold stuff, because he was gonna take over the tour for the couple weeks we were supposed to be out, and he flew him in, and he, like, from the airport went to my place, and we had, back then we had a CD of our stuff recorded, and I had a little CD player And he's like, just give me a few hours. And all right, cool. I was like, well, maybe I'll just go take a nap or something. And I was wondering, like, what is he gonna do? He's just gonna sit there and listen to everything and feel it, because that's what I would do. You know, you want me to learn a song? I'm just gonna hear it over and over, and I can envision it in my head what's being played. And
You don't think he had to do the after playing masturbation?
Just a few hours for masturbation. You learned it in 30 minutes.
got off.
Yeah. Give me 3 hours, 2.5 minutes to fucking jerk off.
Just got off a plane. You know, I got a rope.
Yeah, I gotta rub one out. But this,
remember
10 minutes, 10 minutes.
I'm in a different city.
No, but
right
he started like playing the music, and he's like, give me a notebook and a pen, and I was like, what the fuck are you gonna do? What are you gonna write?
now.
And I swear, he's gonna draw
some boobs to jack off to. I
You
forgot
play
my
way around here. Give me a notebook and a pen to draw myself a. No, but man, honestly, surprising. I was like, "What the fuck is he?" So I kind of was like checking him out for a few minutes, and
You see the blanket.
he was fucking writing out, like, he's listening to the song, and he's just like writing these notes, and I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here!" I thought he was like fucking with me.
You know,
He's
he's
just
writing,
there.
I will not masturbate
Yeah.
in a stranger's house. I will not masturbate in a
Note
stranger's
to
house.
self, never come over here again. But I think I took a good 2 hour nap, and he came and woke me up, and he's like, call the guys, let's rehearse. And I was like, what the fuck, all 6 songs? He had fucking all these notes written out, and I was just like, you gotta be fucking shitting me, man. But we went to fucking rehearsal, our first rehearsal, and he
Just
took the
jacked
notebook.
off the whole
He
time.
he took the notebook, opened it up, and he just fucking jerked it for 2.5 hours.
Those guys great.
we weren't even upset.
Well,
we
he's
were impressed.
Good. He's good, man. He was like, "Oh, you want me to play this on the drums? I'm playing it on my meat." No, but straight up, man, I was like completely fucking blown away, because I'd never ever witnessed something like that. He fucking got behind the drum kit and put the notebook on the music stand, and he was just like,
You're like, that's what that stands for.
Oh, yeah.
I was putting my pipe and my weed on it. And no, he was like, all right, first song, and he just started playing, looking at and I was just, played perfect. Every fucking song, like if he had been playing them for a while, and I was like, what the fuck? That was pretty amazing. And so that's why, I've seen other musicians, you know, I've guitar player friends that can just like, they hear the note, oh, that's this, and then they can just like play it. Oh, that's this note, that's note.
Yeah, even just like as meeting artists, it's always funny when I paint with somebody who's, educated with a school, because they do know, they've studied more and they do know more than you would know.
Theories.
Oh, I love the chiaroscuro you put on this part of the...
Or just
That's
how do
not
you?
the right look for that skull. Yeah. Well, I do see that in schooled musicians and non-schooled musicians, or schooled artists and non-schooled artists. And it's, you're going to definitely notice a line of the side they come from by the way they talk and the things they know and the way they approach things, I guess. But
I guess that's like in everything, right?
yeah, that's what I was saying. You're gonna see that with a lot of different things.
Like there's that story of it's played by the guy that plays the War Machine, Don Cheadle, the GOAT. Suppose he was
Don
the best street basketball player ever, but he was like some troubled kid that he never went to college or nothing. But they say he was better than Jordan, and he was just like a street
I heard about it.
baller from.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always heard that. Like, yeah, there's dudes out there beating Jordan. Like, they never did anything with themselves.
Oh yeah, that's with everything too.
Like I always say, no matter how good I get at an instrument or whatever, there's always a 9-year-old Asian kid that could do it way better than I can.
And then especially if they get instructed, like they go to school for it and they learn different things. Even like that searching for Bobby Fischer, the kid that is in the story, I forget his name, but he's learning by Lawrence Fishburne on the street, and then he's also getting taught by is it Ben Kingsley? like through chess school, and he's like, "Stop playing on the street. That guy's gonna make your game worse." But then,
But you learn both.
Yeah, you learn
styles
both,
in a
and
way,
you-
or
yeah,
the
theories,
theories
and or I guess Ben Kingsley's trying to teach him theory, where Lawrence Fishburne's like, "No, you play the opponent. It's a hustle, and
Yeah.
it's more on you against him. And it's not about the books."
Well, yeah, I think you gain more from being open-minded to both aspects rather than like, oh no, you didn't go to school for that. Well, then you're nothing.
It's like Tank when he came to the UFC. He was a
Tank
street
Abbott.
brawler.
Yeah. Or even like Kimbo too. These guys.
Yeah, like,
In their style,
Or,
huh? Like it'd be like jujitsu, and
Brock
then he'd come
Lesnar.
out. It would be like pit fighter, or bar fighter. What the fuck does that mean? Like,
Pit fighter. Tank Abbott.
I just remember when he knocks out that dude, and then the dude's all sleeping, and he's making fun of him.
Remember how it used to be though when those UFCs first started. You had to like fight multiple times, right? Like it was.
and you had a job, right? Because they were all like fireman slash.
This guy's still in his post office fucking suit. And
Yeah, to fight 3 times a night, and then still wake up and go line prep at
go
Olive Garden
open
or
up
something.
Dunkin' Donuts.
I was telling Xander last week about Sifu Greg. remember that guy?
Was that a Tony's? Yeah.
He tried trading tattoos for martial arts. And I'm like, no, we're good. And then the next
Martial
day,
arts.
I work on cars, dude.
Yeah, I also work on cars. I cut hair.
He had a day
houses.
job.
I'm also a sensei or a seafood. And we were like, what? Right, he was like pretty overweight.
Smoking a
Smoking
cigarette,
cigarettes.
eating a Snickers.
When you sound like
Can you
Kmart.
imagine you
did
come at
his-
him all crazy and he's just like, like, oh shit.
Might
Kung
be-
Fu Panda.
His chi could just throw you without even touching you.
I mean, there's that, looks are deceiving, but like in this case, it's kind of like, it's far fetched, right? Like, I don't know, bro. What are you going to teach me again?
Seafood Greg. I want that guy on my corner.
Wash your car, pay your fence. He, yeah, that was just funny to me. Trade for tattoos. Did you end up tattooing him?
No, I never
No,
tattooed.
you never did?
That's why you never learned the secret of the eagle
Yeah.
fist.
I'm still missing eagle claw in my
That's funny, man.
I see you missed out. You could have had the secrets of.
Do you remember back in the day when we were training for that movie? We were supposed to start filming. We were training at Hanks High School. I remember doing all the. And they had some pretty not really famous, but there were some big names that they brought in to kind of train us.
Yeah.
Seafood Greg.
No, but he was there doing the catering.
He's serving
He was painting the gym as we were filming the movie.
Did the catering.
I also cater, guys.
Seafood, yes.
Oh shit.
Seafood's
Seafood.
catering.
He's also Seafood Greg, right?
Oh, man,
fuck.
that's funny.
So you guys train with famous martial
I always
artists.
think about that. We were actually gonna. It was like a B-rated type of movie or whatever. But they're like at the very beginning of everything, really, they just didn't even have the money to follow through with it. It was like,
You promised us Superfoot. What the hell? What the...
it was gonna be the original. Oh man, what was that movie called? It just slipped my mind the name of this movie.
The Matrix.
Neo, the Green Power Ranger.
Well, yeah, it was gonna be the Power Ranger movie.
Jackie Chan's
It was
other
right, it was-
cousin. Tony Chan.
I think later on that movie ended up being Rush Hour. Huh? This movie's going nowhere, right?
Yeah.
Oh damn! Who are you gonna play?
It
The
was-
little
it's-
Asian girl that
If
they
you really think
kidnapped.
about it,
and-
it's probably the original Fast and the Furious.
Oh man.
Before they decided to join the Avengers and fight the rest of the world.
Right? Who would win? Like the
Well, of
The
course.
team up
family.
of Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan or Vin Diesel and family.
Family. Come on, man. These guys are taking out like government.
Spaceships.
No, let's not
and-
get into that. The last movie I saw was just like, okay, this is just getting out of hand now. When they take that Fiero. Have you seen like all of them?
No,
All 70, 17?
man, I don't know.
They they take a Fiero and they like build a rocket ship and they attach it to the Fiero, the rockets, and they fucking take it into outer space.
Oh shit! No, I haven't seen that. And he's driving it.
You know, there were dudes in the audience like,
ludicrous and
family.
Tyrese. Those two guys are in space in a Fiero with rockets attached to it. Yeah.
It's believable.
It's like, okay, this is...
I saw one where like the car is flipping and it's flying towards Vin Diesel's girlfriend and he jumps and like kind of like blocks it like a basketball and it goes the other way.
the car? Yeah. Well, like I said, man, I said this about 17 movies ago. I was like, they're going to end up just like Guardians of the Galaxy on there with Avengers. It's going to be Toretto's crew on there too.
In the new Justice League.
Transformers come to Earth again and they're going to need Toretto.
Oh, that'd be a good crossover. Transformers and Fast and Furious. Yeah, just how we were talking about earlier about, just like on the craps table and all that. Xander's not a believer of anything. I mean, because what would you call that? I mean, not spiritual, but of, out of this world or
Well,
beyond the physical, I
beyond
guess.
the physical, yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's really
And it's hard
what
to...
I've always kind of felt is you can be you can mentally
manifest.
or manifest. I don't know. I kind of feel it's different manifestation or actually drawing the power mentally to make something happen. Because I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I use it all the time. I really mentally will focus and concentrate sometimes, and I mean, yeah, it may sound stupid, but to some people, like, oh yeah, but it really, I really feel it does.
But it's not
work.
something that, like I try and explain to them, it's not something that could be tested. And I know it sounds stupid. It sounds so retarded, but it's like, yeah, you can't sit there and do an experiment and test like, oh yeah, this, you know what I mean? Like it's...
No, because then I feel like you're saying you can't really show anybody unless you're doing it like as it's happening. You know what I mean? That's like how you're proving it.
And it sounds stupid.
You can't be like, oh no, I did it, and then tell someone about it, and then like watch, and then it's not gonna happen. I feel like you don't have the right channel by forcing yourself to show someone. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I feel
exactly.
like when you've actually just kind of I feel like it's just when you're in tune with yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
You're in tune.
you're not really worrying about who's what. You're really wanting, like, I really need this to happen, and you like you're saying, almost like
It
and you get
comes
enough
from
people with that same conviction, feeling the same way, then you create a bigger vibe to really get
So then that means like prayer would work if it's
Yeah.
kind of done.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, and
And I know
understand, and I understand.
people get not offended, but or like they don't really believe in the religious aspect when you say prayer. Like, oh no, I don't believe in that stuff, so prayers don't work. But it's not really like you're praying like, oh God, Lord Jesus. It's really just like a bunch of people getting together and like believing in one.
Yeah, like what you call it,
direction.
like a shared consciousness or
Pretty much, yeah, I would say.
Unity, consciousness.
unity consciousness. There you go.
Like everybody's got the same like want, and they want it so bad that they're.
But it would work for prayer. Like if you have a group of people and they strongly believe and they're praying to the Lord and they say a prayer to Him, I
Yeah.
think it's the same thing, and it would
Yeah,
work.
yeah, exactly. It is. I'm saying, depending on the aspect you're going to look at it from, people who are not religious are going to say, "Oh no, prayer doesn't work," but it's.
But yeah, it just sounds so stupid every time I talk to him because I tell him like, yeah, it's not that like it could be tested, and I understand what he's saying. Like, yeah, then anybody can just say it, especially after something happens. Like, oh, I made that happen, or I knew that was going to happen. It's like, oh yeah, anybody can just keep saying that, but it's
Well,
like,
yeah, of course, anybody could keep saying that, but then you'd really only be lying to yourself, and nothing is really going to ever happen for you that way. So lying about it would do nothing for you. I mean, a lot of people will say like, "Oh, yeah, I wanted that to happen," or "I made that happen." But if you're doing it like to not show off, but or to kind of like you say, like you want to try to prove it to somebody, yeah, I think it doesn't happen for you. You know, it's like the toad in the old Looney Tunes movies, right? Hello, my baby, the one that would sing. And the guy had that toad, and it would just sit there and like, but then like he would,
I
and
promise
nobody would be
it
around, and
sings,
he would start singing and dancing, and he had like the baddest voice, and then he would try to show people, and the toad would just sit there, and he would never do it because he didn't want anybody else to see that.
Yeah, it's exactly like that.
Yeah, one of my cats has a really beautiful baritone voice, but no one ever believes me.
I believe.
Your
Like-
cat, is that what you said? Your cat has a...
One of my many. How many have you counted so far?
I think you're up to, how many is a toad?
12.
Yeah, it's 12. 12.
And counting.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I'm a strong believer in that only because like it's happened so much that it has to be some kind of connection to your consciousness. I mean, I even in the fact of like esoteric healing in a way, like you really you have the power to like heal yourself, or it's like the same. You put your power to your mind to heal yourself, or make something happen, or even be superhuman. Because I mean, I've done things that are a little superhumanish, and it's like, how the fuck did I do that? And it's just all because of the position you're put in at a certain time, and your reaction, and your mind creates what you need to happen at that moment, and only certain things will happen for you. Like, you know, you hear about
Mothers picking up cars.
phenomena,
So
yeah,
now,
just
right,
stuff like
I was
that. And
thinking of-
I've done it. I've done it. And it's no lie. It's like it.
He's the man that jumped over the Alamo.
Twice.
I heard him screaming, and I thought, "Oh shit, what's going on?" Like the Bionic Man. Was it $6 million man?
But yeah, you hear of ladies picking up cars, and you know, I mean, and they say it's adrenaline, and yeah, that's a scientific way to make sense of it. But yeah, it's happening. You know that she's getting a. I mean, if you believe that's happened, like stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, there's been like crazy feats done, but I think some of them are probably exaggerated, right? Like, there's got to be some of them where it's like, okay, yeah, like. But I'm sure some, yeah, I'm sure that there has been crazy feats where you're like, wow, that was like insane, like almost superhuman. Like I've heard those where like the lady will pick up a car or something.
Yeah.
I remember I couldn't get into the shop once, and I left my phone in here, so I just transmuted through the wall, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
But you know what's funny? Like, so what I also feel is people who don't really kind of believe, like I'm not saying anything about it, but like having the attitude, like when you make fun of it, puts you out of range of ever achieving that. You know what I mean? But I guess it takes something for you to make you believe it, really. So if you've never had that experience, well, maybe it hasn't happened yet. But I mean, I've had many, and I know people that have had many like that too. And I think it's like
But I'm saying it does happen to him, but to
He
him
doesn't
it's just
believe that.
coincidence.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just a coincidence.
Like, 'cause I always think about all the times where it doesn't work or something doesn't happen, and you don't really take into account those. But
Oh no, yeah, it makes
but
sense
then
too.
when
Yeah,
you
I mean,
see it, the one that does happen, like, oh, did you see that? Like, whoa. Like, so I think it's easier to notice like the
The
more
times it does.
extraordinary events, yeah, than like the ordinary. But I do think the ordinary is
the
the
chance.
majority of what you see. Yeah.
No, and that all makes sense. It all makes sense, but that's why I'm saying it's like a gut feeling. Like whenever I get that feeling, it's not like from the mind; it's from the gut. And then I've just been researching it, and they say your gut is a lot like your brain, and it sends actual like there's science behind the way
signals to the rest of your body.
yeah, it
or
sends
whatever.
signals like the way your brain does, but they don't.
Almost in the way I feel. I mean, yeah, it coincides like when you eat edibles or mushrooms. I mean, your stomach has a lot to do with the hallucinogenic things you see because of your digestive system.
It's another one I was going to talk about. Like we used to do a lot of LSD and mushrooms, and
Yeah.
and it makes sense. We'd walk into a party and we'd see things and we'd start laughing and we knew what we were thinking. But I know a lot of it is you're hanging out with somebody so much that you're already
Right, and
seeing similar things.
It's funny that we talk about this because I talk about it a lot, and people are always just like, yeah, right. When I talk about how much LSD we used to do, and it was like, Renee, my brothers, and the close knit of people that were actually just always with us doing this, we were at a point where we could really be in a room and not say one word, but we all knew. Like we were having conversations in our mind, right? Like we all, even the next days, we were like, man, were we really doing that? Yeah, we were.
But then I can see where it makes sense that you guys hang around. Just like if we hang around and we're not even doing LSD, sometimes
we
we're on the
just
same
pick up
page.
on each other,
Yeah, you
yeah.
pick up on stuff. It could be that, but yeah, I mean, just sometimes we'd be at like a busy party or something, and somebody would be sitting far away, but then you'd look at them and like just everything would like. I mean, I don't know. And then just being on that drug made it more enhanced sometimes, like. But then I know some people that do them and they don't even. They just think, it's just a drug that fucks you up, and they don't even see that.
And that's I also make that a point too when I talk about, we kind of made it a point though. That's why I say that you have to really want to do something with it rather than be like, I smoke weed and do drugs and I just stay on the couch and like party. I mean, but we didn't do that. We were doing it to enhance our senses because we really took it as like to try to transform our minds and see how far we could really dive into the depth of your
almost
brain.
Like ninjas, right?
That's how you guys learn ninjutsu.
Like in the Matrix, right? You just, oh shit! I just learned how to, which is kind of funny though because man, I remember back then too. As much as we used to do, I kid you not. I play some guitar and I was having a dream about watching. I can't remember what song it was from Pearl Jam that I just could not figure out, and because I would play by ear, so I would listen to the song. I can't figure out how to play that part. And I swear, man, I had this crazy dream that I was at a Pearl Jam concert. And it was funny because it was just like a specific dream that I was watching the guitar player. And they were playing the part, and I saw him play these chords, and I was like, it was almost like watching that, I knew I was in a dream, and I swear to you, I came out of my sleep probably like 3, 4 in the morning, and I was like, and sometimes when you wake up, you remember your dreams right away.
You didn't think he probably masturbated right before that show.
That's all you were thinking of the
I
whole
was
time.
watching the guitar player masturbate before he played those chords.
I saw him masturbate for 2.5 hours, and I just knew their whole discography.
No, and it was like weird that maybe I didn't, like if I did know.
You
the
do know,
chords in the back of my head. I just
it's there
couldn't
somewhere.
bring it to my consciousness.
Your subconscious brought it
But
for you.
exactly, it's weird how, and I woke up. I went and grabbed the guitar, and I was like, "Holy shit!" This is like 30 fucking years ago or something. But I will never forget how, and that's when I, in my dreams, I really used to make it a point to try the. First of all, you ever realize you're in a dream?
It's something we talk about a lot.
Yeah, like I've talked to him about like lucid dreaming and.
Yeah, like it was almost like I knew I was, as soon as I was dreaming, I'm like, okay, I'm in, and then it's like, what can I do?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
can fucking fly. I can, and it was weird because I would really go to sleep with the point of trying to take over my dream and try to do shit. You know what I mean? And I'd fly or go sneak in this girl's house that I knew was hot, or just stupid shit like that. But I would really like try to do things. Like, you know, you have dreams where you're fighting big monsters, and I was like, I know it's a dream. This is a dream, and I'm gonna fucking fight this fucking monster, and it was just crazy.
Yeah, you awaken inside your dream, almost.
And
That's
I would
crazy.
do that a lot. So, you know, it was weird because, you know, having that dream, and I saw the guitar being played and the chords, and I woke up and I played it, and I was like, oh my God.
Like a weird one for me was, you know, I bought Noah a bike, and you know, with the training wheels, you know, he'd ride it, and then, you know, he took them off, and then
Then you learn how to ride it without training wheels in your dream.
no, he didn't know how to ride it without the training wheels, and you know, he tried a couple times, and he just, you know, stopped. And one day we were just eating, and he just said like, I learned how to ride my bike. And I'm like, what? He's like, oh, I can ride the bike now. And he got outside, got on it, and I'm like, well, where did that come from or what? He's like, no, we're just eating, and
It clicked.
It's
it
just something
clicked
clicked,
that
yeah.
I could ride my bike. And I'm like, wow, that's so weird. I never seen anybody.
You know, I had a similar experience when first learning how to ride a bike. We used to borrow the neighbor's bike because it was like an older girl who had a bike, and she would just leave it there in the front yard and let whoever ride it. And everybody would try to ride it, and they'd fall off. And I think just watching everybody, and I try to do it, you just want to fall off because you see everybody do it, and you're too scared to actually just like keep pushing and go. And I was the same way. I was just sitting there, and I'm like, wait, I always get to this certain point, and then I want to do this. How about just do this? Yes, just do that. Yeah, you know what? And then I got on the bike, and it was like, woo, and everybody was like, oh shit. And I'm like, it just comes to you. The same thing happened when we went. I went snowboarding. I don't know if I was with you, but I was with Ray Frescas, David Frescas. We had gone out to go snowboarding, and it was my very first time. And you know, I grew up skating, but it's nothing like that in a way. And so the first part of the day, I couldn't even get it. I was frustrated, pissed off. These guys are all having a great time, and I'm just like, man, I give up. He's like, all right, let's go eat some lunch, have a beer, hang out, relax, and we're just there. And it was weird because I just was there at the bar, and I was having a beer, and then they got, were you ready to go try it? And I was like, you know what? Just like something clicked to me. You know what? I think this is what I was doing wrong. And as soon as we went back out, it was like I'd been snowboarding all my life. And then from that point on, but I think it's just something, you know, you need something to get over that little obstacle that your brain is creating.
That mental hurdle or whatever you want to call it.
And yeah, I mean, obviously your dreams are all in your subconscious, so why not? It's almost like if your dreams are the active live versions of what your brain is really thinking in your subconscious, you know.
Yeah,
I used to make it a point to like, I want to dream about this, and I would go to like lay there and try to fall asleep, but keep like thinking about that, thinking. So when I would go into my dream, like if it was just so implanted that I would start dreaming about whatever.
Yeah, it's just it's so in your mind. Yeah, whatever's on your mind, you're gonna end up dreaming about, right? Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, the mind's powerful for sure.
I think so, in all kinds of ways, for manifesting things, for healing, for just rebuilding your own self, really.
But yeah, exactly. It's something that's definitely within yourself that can't. Yeah, once you start trying to test it, I mean, yeah, it sounds.
No, for sure. Like we've been talking about it recently, and yeah, for the majority of my life, I didn't believe in lucid dreams. I just thought you thought you knew, but you weren't. It was part of the dream. And then we started talking about it more and more, and I guess we just talked about it so much that it was in my head that I started lucid dreaming this year, and I've had a few, but it's weird. I realize I'm dreaming in the dream, but I still can't control anything. I just like it's whatever's happening, it's happening.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like I'm in that situation, but I can't just start like changing it
You're
or
probably
fly.
you're still timid mentally with really believing that is happening.
Yeah, it could be that for sure.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't know. It's more like once
Little
you realize that
little timid Alexander.
little timid.
Just let go, little timid boy. Just let go. And now I'm just gonna dream of a bunch of dudes like little timid Alex. Yeah, I'm sure like the more I do it, the more I'll get like the hang of it, I guess, and the more man, being able to control your dream sounds amazing. Yeah, I'd go to every girl's locker room, eat all the candy I could eat. I'd go
Yeah.
break all the records in the world. I'd be like Forrest Gump. Like,
So you never had a dream that you were flying, ever?
no, I've had dreams where like I'm flying or being taken by the air against my will. But I've never had one where I'm
Little
like flying.
paper, right?
Little
Paper's
paper. Little, as thin as paper.
Yeah, he talked about that before, and I said that's him. That's his mind telling him he's not in control, right? Like if the wind, like the
Yeah,
environment.
because it's controlling you.
And I said, "Oh, now that I'm saying that to you, I've had that dream where I'm in a car and I can't control the car, and you step forward and you're going back, and it's that same thing where it's like, oh, it's me not in control, but but to me it happens when I'm driving, not when I'm not flying."
I always found those type of dreams crazy, where like something's happening, like this guy's doing something to you, or like maybe your brother.
So
or
what does
something in the
that
dream.
what does that break down to you?
I don't know.
You can't-
I've always just and I'm like they're just like, and
It's like the
hitting, and
softest,
it's just like
slowest
it's just
punch,
like
like-
it's just like, and I don't know. I have a dream like that makes me feel like almost helpless in a way, or
Okay, yeah, that's it. Helpless.
yeah, I guess I would say more helpless, but why I don't know.
Like you feel you can't.
Even like
You wanna tell us about
I have
it?
these dreams where like I need to call like a particular person, and like every time I start dialing the numbers, like I fuck up the number, and then I have to
Oh,
restart,
fuck.
and it's like and then it's like like slow down, even though you're slowing down, something else happens. Oh fuck, and I never.
Yeah,
get to
now that
make
you
the
say
call.
that, like you triggered that. I've had that dream too.
Really?
Where it's like a phone, and like you might be
Damn, that's
with the last
that's a
number,
And it fucks
and
up. You
something fucks
yeah.
up, and it's like
you're like, oh, what the fuck?
whether
Yeah.
it's a password, a number, or
Nah, I've
something.
never had that dream. That sounds
I
scary.
have that a lot, and I've always tried to kind of maybe. I mean, of course, there's so much going on with life now. It's always hard to like say, well, it's because of this or that. I mean, it's just fucking, maybe just the stress of life. You feel helpless or something.
How about like that? How somebody mentions something, and then that just triggers you. Like I wouldn't have even realized I've had that dream, but then you're saying it, and it's like, yeah, I have that all the time too, where I'm pressing buttons or. Yeah, like a code you get in, and you just like.
Yeah,
Or you
it's
ever
true.
had a dream where like your fucking teeth are falling out?
I've had
I've
that
had
once.
Yeah, right. Like it's crazy. Like you falling out and like bleeding, and you're like, oh, what the hell? It's just, and
know,
I
so-
always thought that was crazy. Like, why am I having these crazy dreams? And
You know, it's a weird one I have. I'll have like hair growing out of my mouth, and I grab it and I'll start like just pulling out like these
What
big
the
patches
fuck?
of hair, and then the more hair just keeps growing, and I can't breathe, and I'm like, oh, I need to pull all this.
you know what? I've had that too.
And
I
I'm
have-
just.
yes, where it's almost like suffocating, and you're just like, you have to hurry up and pull before you lose your last breath. I've had that dream. That's crazy. You said that.
But my hair, it's growing. I feel like growing from the roof of my mouth. The hair just keeps growing, and I'm just yanking it out, and it's just. Oh yeah, it's weird.
I feel like I've had that dream, but it's growing from like in my throat, like where I have to keep pulling, otherwise, like I can't get that last breath or something. Yeah, I've had
Damn,
that.
that's a trip.
Right.
My uncle tells me about this dream he has a lot, where it'll be like a butterfly or something, like a little thing, and then it starts growing and growing and growing until it's so big that like it's like suffocating him, and he's like,
Oh, man.
he can't get, and it's just like just taking up all the space, and then he wakes up like right when he's
A
like,
butterfly?
he says it's usually like a butterfly, and it'll just start growing, like
crazy.
it'll pulse, and every time it does, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger,
And then engulfs them.
and it engulfs him. Yeah,
Did he used to smash a lot of tomato worms when he was young?
I don't know.
It's not paper Xander.
It might be it's me. As my insecurities get bigger and bigger and bigger. No, it's weird how you say like in those dreams, right, where you can't do something or you can't punch or. That's why I started lucid dreaming, because in a lot of my dreams, I'm like physically inept in some way. So like I can't run, I'm all slow, or I can't walk. Or when I told him like if I'm on the floor and I have to stand up or I'm sitting, it's almost impossible for me to stand up. Like I can, I'm trying my hardest. and people look at me weird, like, what do you can't get up or you can't walk? And that's when I realized, like, that's not normal. And then that's when I started realizing, oh shit, I'm dreaming. Like, this isn't normal.
Yeah.
But it's always something. Yeah, and like, once I realize that I'm dreaming, it doesn't change. I still can't get up. I still can't run. I just know I'm in that dream.
Yeah.
So I'm like kind of just suffering the
Or even like
consequences of the dream.
those sleep paralysis in a way, I guess, where you like almost like you ever had of the dream, like when someone's like fucking like on you, like
And it really feels like somebody's behind you. Like, man, it's so
Yeah, I get those a
scary.
lot.
yeah. I
Yeah,
had
you-
those a couple nights when I was like partying pretty hard and was trying to like go to sleep, but it was just like
Man, I get a lot of those like those night terrors too that I told you about. Like I've been getting a lot of them lately too. Or I'll just wake up like screaming and like I wake myself up and I'm like, oh
Really?
shit, like yeah.
wow. I don't think I've ever had a dream that makes me wake up like. I've had a dream where I woke up and I was like crying because of what happened in my dream, but it was like really emotional, I guess. And when I woke up, I was like crying and just really, I was like sad. Although I have, it's funny. I have throughout my lifetime, I think I've had about a good handful of dreams where I'm dreaming that I have to take a fucking mean piss, and like I'll be in a dream like whether I'm at a party and it's like I can't find the bathroom, and finally you find the bathroom and it's like, oh yeah, and you're just taking a piss, and even in your dream you're just like, oh, and then I'm like, I'm fucking dreaming, and then I wake up and I'm like fucking got a wet spot. I'm like, oh shit.
I've had those before too.
Fucking run to the bathroom and
You see, but it might not even realize it just went back to the party.
yeah,
And they're all wet.
I'm in a dream. Ah, fuck it. Let's keep partying. Fucking, you'll change the sheets in the morning. I remember, I'm probably saying this and admitting it on this, but I was so fucking drunk one time when I was first touring with the Razors, man. We were in Salt Lake City. It was fucking snowing. It was freezing balls. The owner of the bar let us stay after, and it was just like me and a couple other people. We were just like drinking, man, and we finally come out, and it's like fucking snowing and freezing balls, and the bus is across the street. So I'm the only one. Everybody else is passed out. So I get on the bus, and everybody's taking up every bunk, and I go and I sleep in the passenger chair of the RV. And it was freezing, dude, and I was so drunk, I fucking passed the fuck out, and I had one of those dreams where I was fucking. I remember it was like if I was walking to school back in the day in 6th grade, where I had to walk through this desert, and I remember in my dream that I had to pee so bad, and I found this milk jug empty, and I was like,
With
fuck
powdered
yeah.
milk in it.
With powdered milk. And chocolate
And I
powder.
just started fucking pissing. And in my dream, it was like, man, it felt so good, like to pee in the dream. It was so warm. I remember thinking of the dream.
Like, the warmth. Like,
And then it was like right when I got to filling up the jug, my piss wouldn't stop, so it was just like overflowing. And then I told myself, oh shit, I'm in a dream, and I fucking woke up and I had fucking.
you were still
pissed my
going.
fucking jeans, yeah, I was still going. I was like, oh my god, what the fuck? I woke up, I was like shaking, shivering because it was so cold, dude. And, I woke up our bus driver who was asleep in the chair, and I told him, hey, I'll drive us to the.
Somebody pissed all over me.
Hey, somebody pissed all over you, dude.
Somebody pissed all over
Somebody
the both of
pissed
us,
all
man.
over me and all over you. Man. Just to make it look like it wasn't just me. I woke up and peed all over him real quick.
Hey, man.
Which one
Dude,
of you?
somebody pissed all over us, dude.
You
We gotta go
motherfuckers pissed
shower,
on
bro.
us.
They played a prank on us, man. They pissed all over us. But I remember like fucking driving the fucking RV to the closest flying J. Just so I could go take a shower and wash clothes. Oh man, I'll never forget. I was fucking so cold, dude. And I'll never forget the dream, because watching it just fill up like, oh, my dream.
You're like, wait, that's
And
a
I'm
lot
like, man,
of...
it's not stopping. It's about to overflow. And I was like, oh, I'm in a fucking dream. And I woke up and I was like, God.
Nobody sit on the passenger seat.
Nobody. Fucking Caesar pissed in the fucking passenger seat, guys.
Saw that watery powdered milk cup.
Yeah,
Fuck, man, I should
saw the
have drank
watered
that
down
shit. You piss all over the place. I wonder if anyone's ever had that dream, but where they're shitting. You just wake up. Oh shit!
Shit in your
Fuck.
Well, now that we're talking about it, I have this problem.
Yeah, I wasn't the bedwetter growing up.
I don't know why you say that.
I had a weak bladder till I was about 12. It was kind of embarrassing to go stay at friends' houses because it was a gamble whether I was going to fucking piss or better.
Hey, Billy, someone peed all over us, man.
Who spilled water all over us, man? That's not water, man. That's piss.
Oh, why did your mom give us asparagus for dinner? Fuck.
Oh, no, we're having asparagus tonight at Billy's. Better not stay the night.
I was never like a bedwetter, but I did have a couple of like times.
I was going to say you're a bed shitter.
I was more of a
Shit
bed
in the
shitter. I did have like 2 or 3 times where like I had a dream like that and I woke up pissed, like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah. Those aren't very fun, depending on how far you get into the pee. How much you pissed yourself. It's always funner when someone's in bed with you, though.
And you can blame them.
Oh man, we have a good
Which
friend that
one
has a
was
couple. Guess the pee.
Yeah, you wake up and you realize
I
that you
don't know.
pissed the bed. You better fucking pee all over him, too. That way you can blame him.
Hey, yeah, just wake up first.
Wake up, hey, you fucking asshole! You're peeing all
If I peed, why is it all over my knee?
How come I'm dry around my dick area? Just my knees are peed on.
Why is it just my ass and the back of my thighs that's all pissed on, man? We have a good friend with a couple of good piss stories like that.
Piss stories.
Our friend had one of our friends told us a story where he wanted to sleep with some girl on some couch and they could barely fit and he was all drunk. And then sure enough, he wakes up in the middle of the night and he's like, what the fuck? And he's all wet. And her ass is all wet, but then he touches her front and it's dry and he's like, oh, I pissed. So he don't want to deal with like the backlash, so he just snuck out the house and took off and never talked to that girl ever again. So he's like, she probably woke up and thought, oh, I peed all over him, and he left all embarrassed.
Yeah, so they're
So
both.
they're
They both
both-
took the blame. Oh man.
Oh, I peed on somebody's couch.
Oh, that's even worse, honey.
Yeah.
Would you just turn the cushions upside down and leave?
Why are you wearing my shorts? How did you get? Sorry, I had to borrow your shorts because
Somebody pissed off.
somebody pissed all over me.
Yeah, your dad woke up in the middle of the night and just started pissing all over me, man. You never had any unfortunate pissing accidents?
I mean, I've had that one when I was young, but not too many. Not too many.
Not too bad.
No, not too bad.
Yeah, I remember I came home so fucking shit-faced one night and got into bed with my woman and fucking threw up and pissed the bed like no other. Fucking Jägermeister everywhere.
Oh, man.
It was bad. I remember I had bought brand new clothes, had them all laid out, woke up and just fucking spewed all over everything. Then in the morning I woke up like, what the fuck did I
Oh
just
man!
do?
In the morning, where it's all nice and dried, and
Just the chunks are left. Huh?
just the chunks.
One of my, it was my,
Who the fuck threw up and pissed all over me?
oh, I'm the only one here. There was that one time that I was sitting over here at the table, and the guy comes in and he like walks around, he looks at everybody, and then he looks at me, he looks around, and he's like, "You, I need to talk to you."
The Indian man.
Yeah. And I was all, what? Like, what the fuck did I do? And then he's like, "Hold on, can I have a piece of paper and pen?" And I thought, he was going to draw something out, because like what he wanted. And he wrote something down, he folded up the paper, and then he gave it to me. He's like, "Don't open it, hold it in your hand." And he's like, "I need to talk to you. Do you believe me?" And I'm like, "About what?" He's like, "Just," and he just started like talking to me and asking me questions and telling me a story, and then he's like, and then in the end he's like, "So answer this question." And it was like a very specific question. And then he's like, "Answer the question." He's like, "Look in your hand and open the paper." So I opened up the paper, and it was the answer that I said. And I was like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "Do you believe me now?" And it was so, like, I was like, "What the fuck?" So he brought me over here, and he was like, "Yeah, telling me, all this
He
crazy
started
shit."
peeing on me and he took off. And
He started, no, he actually said a bunch of, like, he wrote down more things on a piece of paper, and he gave me the papers and told me not to open them until after we talked. And man, we talked, and he made me answer specific questions, and it was weird because like I unfolded the papers and they were my answers. And I was just like, what the fuck? And even when I was answering him, I kept like, "No, don't say that answer because that's too obvious." So I was trying to like really come off the wall with some answering, and fucking A, it was like, what the fuck? And he was like a yogi or something like that. Or maybe that was his name, Yogi. Yeah, he's some Indian dude. He gave me a little card.
damn.
Which is crazy because I would think about like, we're talking about craps or even gambling and the systematic things, and like hypnotic, not psychotics, psychics. Psychics, people are like, "Oh yeah, they ask you certain questions, and it's like they narrow down the answers, and it's more than likely the chance of them getting it right is going to be this because of the things they ask you or something." There's always a system behind it, they say, but it's just weird how like very specifically, like everything that we talked about and answers were just like, he was like correct.
Yeah, see, like on that note, I'm with Xander. I think those people are. It's smoke and mirrors. It's tricks.
And that's why I'm bringing that up, because as much as I felt he was like, wow, that's crazy, it was more like, how are you doing this? Like, how are you?
Did he have you tear up the paper at any point? Like tear that up in like little pieces?
No. It was just he wrote answers on different pieces of paper, like had them all wadded up, like folded up, and then had me hold them. And then was like talking to me about really and then like I would say specific stuff, but then I would think, would you talk to everybody this way and ask them those questions? And I guess you would. But then when he would like ask me a question, and then ask me this question, he's like, "Remember the answers? Remember you said this, that, and open up the papers," and I was like, what the fuck? I'm like,
Yeah, I remember he came in. He came in because I remember when he left, you had told me that, like, "Man, this guy knew all this and this guy knew that," and right away I didn't believe it. He was like a short, fat guy, huh? Like round Indian
dark,
guy.
yeah.
Yeah. He came in afterwards, and I remember him. I'm like, "Oh, that's the guy. I want to see his trick." And
Well, when he came in, he was like, "Yeah, man, I just want a skull and crossbones right here on my arm." No, I want
I
to see
duped
that.
some dude for 300. It's all some bullshit.
no, yeah, I remember him doing the same trick. And yeah, it's one of those tricks because there's the same trick with cards. And as I'm asking you a question, you answer it. And then after you give me the answer, I'm writing down that now. And then I'm asking you a new question.
Yeah,
And you sleight of hand it.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, and that's why I'm saying I know that from like, you try to be a magician or you learn these.
And the last trick is the last answer. The last question he asks you is always like he asked me, "Name me a flower," and I said rose, and that was the first thing he wrote rose because he probably realizes most people say rose.
Oh, I remember you told me about that.
So yeah, it was that trick, and I even told him, I said, "I know how you did it. I know what you're doing." And then he kind of like chuckled, and he's like, "Oh, will you tip me anyways?" I'm like, I said, "That's a
Yeah.
good trick." I mean, and then I started talking to him about like tip, like, "Oh, how much do you want me to tip you?" And he's like, "Oh, well, and he was saying that he's legit. Like, I really do help people. He's like, most people tip me like $100,
Get
and
the
I'm like, "Oh, like fuck no, I'm not giving you."
I'm like, I'm from El Paso, bro. I know most people. They don't tip $100.
But he was saying that he helps people like psych, like with like if he's a palm reader or whatever he does. But he says he has.
Well, he helps gullible people.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
But yeah, he kind
you
of had
have
like
to
that
really
little.
be in a low life in your a low point in your life to really.
Well, not really a low. Just you need
Well,
answers.
vulnerable. I
yeah,
guess you
vulnerable. Yeah, you're vulnerable
because
exactly.
you're gonna believe. Wow, this. You know what? Take my money.
And then yeah, he does a trick like that. So if you don't know anything about tricks, I can see where you're amazed. And then and then they kind of say things, and I mean even like the stuff he was telling me. I mean it makes sense. And then if I play, almost like we're saying, like when you read a Bible verse, you're like, oh man, that thing's
It applies
speaking
to
to
you,
me.
yeah.
Or
Yeah.
you hear a song. He's kind of saying the same things.
Yeah.
And you can kind of direct him. But if you're not,
Because out of like 5 things that he's telling you, one of those is really gonna like. Oh my god! How did he know I'm going through some shit?
and
Because
he's
everybody's going through some shit.
yeah, everybody, and he's probably in tune to that to pick up those little things. But yeah, I think
So
people.
what he did is he looked around the room and then he looked at me and thought, "There's
This
the
guy,
dummy."
that's the guy that pees his
There's
pants.
the
Every answer was just peed your pants. Fuck! How did he know that? What the fuck?
But then people like that kind of give like that, the real magic behind stuff like that. They give it a bad name, I guess, because
because they're using it in the wrong way.
Yeah, good thing he didn't come up to me. I would have been like, "Little do you know, I'm a level 48 dark magician. I know your tricks. Give us a bad name." Like, I fucking dare you.
I'm a dungeon master. Come around here with your tricks.
My friend over there, he's a paladin. You have no idea what you just walked into.
Like, do you believe in like these? What do you call them? These healers, these curanderas that people. Oh, you need a limpia. You know what I mean? Like, do you believe in that? Like, all this bad shit's happening. You go get a limpia.
And hit you with like the leaves and shit. And like
Yeah,
the,
I'll say like when I do the ayahuasca ceremonies, at the very end they wake everybody up and they line you up, and he goes by and he does a limpia.
Yeah.
And his thing is, he sucks on your head like, and he's sucking out the bad spirits.
and he
Sucks on
sucks
your
on
dick,
your
right?
head?
Huh?
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, so
He's
he,
giving you a limpia.
and he like.
Limpia.
Oh, I feel so cleansed.
And I don't know if he spits. No, he just spits it out into the fire.
Oh, he doesn't
So
swallow?
then- he doesn't swallow. But on some people, he's there forever. Like if they've got a lot of bad. But then it's kind of like. And I think he's going off because, like me, I'm always really calm and I enjoy it. And
Like all this, he looks like shit. I'm gonna.
So you only get one suck.
yeah, I get like one suck. It's a small one. But then
This
like,
guy over here, I know him. He needs about 10.
but I don't believe in it. Like, but I see how some people do, and then some people even like ask him like, "Oh, when you were on me, like, what did you see?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't know, but I just had to keep like there's still a lot of bad energy in you." And and they give you the whole alcohol, and then they say a little. Then the girl behind him will tell you a little like, follow your path. One of those little lines that can go anywhere.
Like a fortune cookie.
Yeah, the
fucking-
fortune-
That just gets into your. That just seeps into your.
Yeah, she's reading fortune cookies.
Yeah.
You can overcome what faces you.
So, and I can see just being there and then listening to everybody's reaction in the morning, and you know, some people, and that's the thing too, though. How about if you really do believe they did something on you? If you really believe it, then honestly, it works. Because then maybe throughout your day and throughout the next week and so forth, you
mindset is that.
you get out. So it does work. I mean, it's fake.
Yeah, it's like the
Like a placebo.
yeah, like
thing.
a placebo, right? Like if you
The
think it's
placebo.
helping you, you're gonna act and be like, yeah, I'm better. It helped me.
And that's where I feel like, well, people are like, oh, that's all just placebo. And it's like, well, if you're, like I was saying, it's all the attitude. That's not going to work. But the people that actually are believing that they actually took some kind of antidote or remedy or whatever, that they're believing in themselves to heal or do something so that it
They're there
works.
for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because, you know, when I've been to those ceremonies, you know, I'm thinking, oh, it's going to be a bunch of young people wanting to get fucked up. But it's not. It's like older people that really have problems, and they'll tell you like, oh, my mom died, or oh, I lost so-and-so and I'm just trying to get over that. So people are really there for that help. And,
Yeah.
you know, I'm just there to kind of like just trip out and kind of just see. And then sometimes they only drink like one, or they drink very little. And then the stories they tell like these crazy stories. So I'm thinking like, oh, it's something that's in them. Because I know.
They're there to look for some type of outlet for that. So already they're willing to just already be that way.
Yeah, they're already so open to the
so
whole
they don't
thing.
even really need the
Yeah.
the ayahuasca. They just fucking just let it all out, therapy wise, you know.
But yeah, that's the only experience I've seen with limpias and that stuff. But, you know, and it does work. I mean, and I wonder, from the point of view of the witch doc, the medicine man or whatever, I wonder if he knows, like, oh, I've got to really sell this because it's a placebo, and the
Yeah.
better I sell it, or if he really, I mean, because he really is doing something to the people that need it. But, you know, I don't know. I don't know if he's seeing spirits.
You find out you're sick and dying, and you're like, I need some way to overcome mentally and have some kind of power to help me heal, and you try anything. So fuck it, I heard that this works. And
So my question is, when the medicine man is sucking spirits out of you, what is he going off of? Is he really going off your energy, or is he going off the way he just has been watching you all night, or does he really feel these bad spirits, or like what do you think he's seen?
yeah, probably if it's like a first timer, you're saying,
Yeah, or
then maybe he just kind of goes off of like probably like a stereotypical aspect. You look at the guy like, well, he's got tattoos, he's
so you're saying he's not really seeing bad spirits, or he's not really seeing.
well, I mean with like I kind of feel like I feel that way with people. Like as soon as I meet someone, I kind of feel an energy already, or you get that like, oh,
So-
I can kind of.
so he's probably a little bit more
what it
tuned.
is. Yeah, so you feel like, yeah, I met this guy and he kind of seems a little like he needs some more help than most people.
than the next person.
Yeah.
So he is trying to feel something.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say the same way that I meet someone for the first time and just kind of feel them out the way you talk with them, or body mannerisms, stuff like that. I think you can kind of quickly feel something, the energy of somebody right away in that way.
Yeah. So then you would believe in limpias, then, I guess, right?
I guess I've never really come across how they do them or what. So I was just wondering, like, how, I don't understand, like, how, is it like they do like a, well, are Olympias like that? They do
That's-
ayahuasca, or is it?
No,
Or
I
they
mean,
just show
because
up
I
on-
know people do limpias where they just go get a limpia done. With
Yeah,
somebody.
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and I've never done that. And then when I did the ceremony, I had no idea they do those at the ceremonies. So I just thought, and I've always been against that. And I was even like, oh, you know, is this, like, I don't even want to be here for this.
Yeah.
But then I've just kind of accepted it, like, oh, you know, if it works for them and for everybody else, you know, I'm not, you know, I don't know if my beliefs, you know, if my beliefs, I guess my beliefs would say people don't have power to do limpias, but I don't believe in them, I guess. But I'm not being negative about, I'm not there rolling my eyes and like
Yeah.
breathing all
Yeah.
You know, I guess I'll
This
just...
isn't gonna work. Don't even try it. Might as well stop.
What about like those pads you put on your feet at night when you go to bed and you wake up and they're all black because they like took out all the.
So I've actually tried those not too long ago, and yeah, every morning
They're
wake
black?
up, they're fucking black, and I did notice something though. I did. I mean, especially because like I have this mess from breaking my ankle, and this was like significantly darker, like all this dead skin from.
Oh,
everything.
shit. Nice. So you did notice something.
Yeah, well, and it's I haven't used it in a long time, but I did notice, that it had like almost completely gone back to like skin color, and I was like, wow, that's kind of weird. And I did notice myself feeling a little different, but then, is
You
it
stopped doing
placebo?
it? Oh, yeah. So,
That's what I'm saying. So
yeah.
it's like,
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's no such thing as placebo.
but it's whatever it takes to make yourself kick in your own powers, basically.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's what I thought. I'm like, because then I was reading up, and like, oh, it's never been proven that these things actually even work. And like, then what makes that shit turn fucking black? What's in there? Is it like a tea bag where it just gets wet? It's gonna turn black or something? Because that's kind of what it reminds me of. Those pads. You ever seen them?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like almost a tea baggish looking pouch that you put under your foot.
Yeah, I've seen, and then they turn
And
it
yeah,
out
you wake up in the
dark.
morning, and I take off my socks and I pull off those pads, and it's all black and green. I'm just like, oh man. But then I'm like, when are you finally
Clean.
cleansed? Because it's just black for 2 months.
So you use it every night and it doesn't start getting better? Or,
Not really.
damn, maybe you need to keep doing it. Maybe there's a lot of
Yeah,
toxins.
but and then so I was like, well, I guess I got to order those things again because I was like, I'll just try it.
I've been doing it for 6 years.
And it's still black.
Almost
yeah.
there.
Just got that much shit in me,
Every night, the dude that sells you them come and pisses on you and then paints them
Right.
black and takes off.
Someone keeps pissing me and fucking. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's never been proven, but I do believe in a way it does. Whatever.
No, yeah, it does. If you believe it and it's doing something to you and you feel better, then it worked. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's no. It's not that it can be proven. There's no science behind it, or you can't.
It's like, you know what? I'm gonna start eating gummy worms every day because it helps fight, like headaches or something, and just like believing it, you're just never gonna get a headache because no, I've been eating gummy worms. I'm never gonna get a headache. So you could trick yourself into believing that that's what you're doing, mentally. You just put your mind to making it happen, it will happen. I mean, I really believe that.
Yeah, there was a point where I thought I was drinking too much coffee, and when I stopped drinking it, I'd get headaches. I couldn't make it through the day, and then one day I just told myself, like, man, I can't believe caffeine has me like this. And I just told myself that day, like, I'm not gonna be the wellness of my headache or my head or my well-being isn't going to depend on coffee. And then, I mean, I still drink coffee every day, but if I miss it, it doesn't have that power over me,
Yeah.
or I can miss it and it's not going to be in the back of my head like, oh, I didn't get my coffee.
Yeah, I used to be like that too, as a matter of fact.
And it was like a mental thing that I just told myself, like, no, it's not having that over you. Like, that's not.
These people are like, I gotta have my fucking coffee, otherwise I just don't even fucking talk to me. Or
Yeah, that's them
Yeah,
buying
that's
into
brutal.
yeah. I mean, I get it because when I have coffee in the morning, it's that kick. I mean, that's what I look for. It's almost like, if you've ever done cocaine, people do cocaine, and it's like that first fucking hit, they get that. Oh, I feel like fucking $1 million, but then you spend the rest of the night doing it more and more to try to get that same feeling you're never gonna get because it's only gonna happen once. And it's like the same thing with believing that you.
So yeah, your mind's very powerful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. I've seen you outside a Starbucks closed, and you're just like, can't wait till they open. Renee?